How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. We are here for the Defenders. It's coming together. There is still one big question. I feel like I am, don't really know where I'm going to stand on this. Is Punisher going to be in this? Is he a part of the Defenders, or is he not? Because he's the only one who hasn't gotten a season 1 yet before this has happened. But he's been in Daredevil, so is he going to be in this, or is he not? I'm going to say no. I might be proven wrong, and I kind of hope I'm proven wrong, but I'm going to say no. So, like most reaction series I do, the finale I put out, the full-length, free for everybody, but for the Defenders, I'm going to be putting out the first episode free for everybody, especially because for the Netflix series, the last episodes tend to be kind of disappointing, so I'm going to have it be the first episode of Defenders this time. So if you want to see the full length, you can check it out in the description below. It's synced up. There's no, it's already picture-in-picture, no syncing up required. It's already done for you. So go check that out. This is Season 1, Episode 1, The H Word. Is Matt gonna finally say hell? I assume the H word is hero, the hero word. It's gonna be about, are we heroes or are we not? It's gonna be a lot of like, I'm not a hero. It's gonna be a lot of like angsty stuff coming from adults. And yeah, I'm very curious to see how they're all gonna come together. I'm very, very excited for this. I don't know what else I could say in a preamble. Let's just recap where these characters were last time we saw them. Luke is in prison. Seems like he might be getting out, or he's gonna have to have a court case or something. I don't know what the fuck we're doing with Luke. He's in prison. Danny's all the way at Kunlun. I assume he's gonna be coming all the way back to New York. Matt could literally be anywhere in the world doing literally anything. There was no implication as to what he was doing at the end of Daredevil Season 2, so Matt could be literally anywhere. And then we have that's everybody. No, Jessica is there was so many different things happening with her. She was doing her whole like PI stuff. She was doing superhero work. She was working on cases with Hogarth. It seemed like she was also having to go to court for just being a super, and they made her go to court for that or something. I don't know. There was a lot of stuff going on with her. But then the last thing we heard was that she was still a PI. Like Joy was getting information from her and stuff. So it seems like whatever that whole court case that she was dealing with is over. There's a lot of stuff that happened to these characters behind the scenes before this, and I'm curious to see how much I'm gonna have to like what we're gonna imply, what's gonna just be swept under the rug, and and all that other stuff. Yeah, Claire is probably gonna be a major big part of this as well. Do I have any other predictions before I jump into this? Anything I want to say while I can say it? Okay, if they have like a captain, if they have like a leader or something, I think it's gotta be Daredevil, just in terms of popularity of the shows. But I feel like the one that makes the most sense would be Danny, just in the sense of the title Defenders. Like maybe Matt is the captain, but Danny is the one who comes up with the title The Defenders, just because it feels very similar to his whole thing. But similar, like Luke as well feels like he might come up with the Defenders. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think that's all I have to say. I'm excited to see what sidekicks are going to be here, what background characters from the series are going to be here, what connections we're going to make. I'm very excited. Let's go. Okay, we are here for The Defenders, Episode 1, The H Word.
Mm-hmm.
I am here with my fiance.
Is that right?
I don't know why you would be joining, or I don't know why you'd be watching this without watching the series leading up to this, but if you haven't, he is my fiance. He comes here just for the discussions, because you've been spoiled on quite a few things just throughout the Netflix stuff. But you've also read a ton of the comics. And
yeah, it's mostly the comic book stuff.
Yeah, like so much about the comic book stuff that would take away from these reactions.
Yeah.
Or would just be a totally different kind of reaction.
Yeah.
You would have to be holding yourself back in the reaction. So, where do we start with this episode? the beginning scene
Mhm.
was one of the. I'll just say I really enjoyed this episode,
Uh-huh.
but the cold open has got to be one of the worst ways to start a series I have ever seen.
I was so excited to get the Iron Fist with the choreography from Daredevil, and now I'm terrified we're going to get all of them with the choreography from Iron Fist.
This is,
I mean-
marketably worse than Iron Fist choreography.
That is an insult. Like, Iron Fist at the very least had a lot of very clear fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell what was happening, which was to its detriment occasionally.
Mhm.
But I can't tell what's happening in this opening. I rewatched it. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, there's only one fight in all of Iron Fist that I thought was like just too dark and I couldn't see what was happening. Versus everything else I felt like was very, very in the light.
Yeah.
Other than the final fight. Versus like Daredevil, I think does have a lot of fights that are very, very dark. But then the choreography is really, really good.
Yeah.
So it's like you have the trade-off there of Daredevil fights are always in the dark, but got great choreography. Iron Fist is in the light and very like not a lot of cuts, but it's very slow choreography.
Yeah.
This was a lot of cuts in the dark, bad choreography, just the absolute worst of every world.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess she was supposed to be going super fast during
think
that
so.
fight. Did not get that at all. Yeah, so that's all I have to really say about that. I think it is really nice that we are bringing back multiple plot points from all these shows
Yeah.
as the thing for this, because as we kept saying for Iron Fist, we were like, oh man, we're getting really scared for Defenders, because it seems like we thought Iron Fist was going to lead right into Defenders. But then, as we were going, it seemed like it wasn't.
Yeah.
Just in terms of none of the other shows we thought were leading into this, so we also thought Iron Fist wasn't. But now it's like okay, they all have been leading into this kind of.
Yeah, like, this is the next season for all of them.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Which is fantastic. I really thought this was going to be more standalone-ish, as it's like, where you could watch Daredevil season 1, 2, and 3 and it wouldn't feel like you're missing something.
Yeah.
But I truly feel like it's going to feel like you're missing a whole thing in his character arc.
Yeah.
If you missed it. Like, they're following straight up on the Elektra stuff. I really appreciate that. Like, not only are they following up on Elektra stuff, as in bringing her back as a villain of this and tying that, not tying it back in with the hand, but just bringing all the hand stuff together. It also is having Elektra still be a major part of Matt's character development here. And
Yeah.
the reason why he does a lot of things. Even if it's subconscious or, yeah, I appreciate it. Even stuff like Misty from Luke's story, who, God, I hate, but I would have never expected her to be in this
Right.
Defenders at all. There's so much that I would have not expected them to be carrying over so much of.
Yeah.
And expecting everybody to really remember. Especially Misty, I feel like, is such a forgettable character. She had a major part, I guess, but maybe it's just me that thinks she's forgettable.
You just didn't really like her.
Yeah. but yeah, I'm just overwhelmed by I was really preparing myself for this to be so much different in terms of what they were going to be touching on, and
Yeah.
so much looser in terms of a connectivity. So very, very happy about that. It does seem like green is Danny's color.
Yeah, which I'm just gonna say, green is like, I would say most people would recognize Danny as green, like in the comics.
Sure.
But they did not do that at all in Iron Fist season 1. Like a
I would
little
say-
tiny bit.
Yeah, after like this episode, I can see like, okay, I guess the shirt that he wears is the lightest, not light, like the slightest green possible.
Yeah.
Like it is just barely between gray and green. And like, okay, maybe that's,
Sure.
but like, I definitely think of him as being yellow, and I get like that's already Luke's thing. And
Yeah.
you can't already make it, but it's so weird to me for it to be green because I have nothing like green
Yeah.
about it. Like other than just like the episodes are kind of green in terms
Yeah.
of there's a lot of foliage and also there's just a lot of green lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not as over the top as like Jessica's lighting is throughout all of Jessica Jones, or
Yeah.
Luke's lighting is throughout all of Luke Cage.
Alright, you watch Luke Cage and like, it's a yellow show. There's so much yellow.
Yeah, you get it. like, Daredevil didn't really have any like the red tint at all throughout any of his own show, and not even in this. It just kind of had a red in the shots.
Yeah, until the very
Until
end.
the very end, where I was not thinking that was this is red for Matt sort of thing, because I hadn't been doing it up to that point.
Yeah.
I truly thought something was happening in the world, like a red light was, emanating, but it took me very quickly to be like, oh, okay, no, they're just doing the Matt thing, but
Yeah.
that was that was weird at the end there. I guess they just didn't have any red stuff to put there.
I guess so. Or they really wanted to have the, like, we're going to show off their scenes and we're going to do the big tint. Because red doesn't really work for a tint very well.
No.
Like, it's
it
too
looks,
powerful.
Yeah, it always looks evil if you use it as a tint. Like, it looks like some effect is happening.
Yeah. Like, you can get away with it with, like, a sunset, but that's really it. So I can't think of any other situation where the big red makes
You have to
sense.
see the light source for it to not feel weird.
Sure.
Like, just putting it over a scene, like, all the other scenes, like, where is this yellow coming from? Where is this blue coming from? But you don't really think about it. But when it's red, it's so much more like a color that I think you think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the yellow you can sort of just interpret as the sun. And, but, like, the sun ain't gonna make it red. Or, like, a cloudy, overcast day can make it gray, blue, and stuff like that. The foliage can make it look green. It's hard for it to naturally look red in an environment.
Agreed. How far after Iron Fist do you think this is? Like, I don't remember if I don't think they said anything or not.
I don't think they said anything, but I don't know if we have any implication as to a time frame. I'm trying to think of that first. I don't think we do. So I'm going to guess that it's at least a month at the minimum, probably multiple months, but below 6 months at the max, I would say.
Yeah.
Even though Danny does look a lot, I think it's just because, like, with him shaving, it looks so much. But he's shaved throughout Iron Fist like once, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
And I will say, like, the shooting for Iron Fist and Defenders was relatively close, so it's not a the
actor thing.
Yeah, it's not like they spent a year not doing anything, then they brought him back. Like, it is a very intentional decision to make him older.
I did mention that too. Like, yeah, this is very close, so it can't be an actor thing. I just must be different makeup artists, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Just different, like. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not anything like I'm complaining about. Just notice like I like this look for Danny more, I think.
Yeah, because I think it's also supposed to be like, he went through all of that stuff and he's grieving Kunlun. Like, I think there's a lot of reason why he would feel like he's old or like he's aged. Whereas in Iron Fist, like, even near the end, they were trying to give him that boyish, like, I don't really understand energy. Like, he was, like, he liked Harold up until the very end, basically.
Yeah, and I think, like, I think it made sense with, like, the amount of stress that he is under is, like, showing on his face. And showing in his hair and just everything. Like, the way he holds himself.
Yeah.
So, our big prediction was that Gao was going to be the big villain for this one. Which it seems like they're really going to do a jobbing sort of thing. Without really, like, having her job.
Yeah.
And just that, like, Gao has been the most terrifying, like, number one villain across, like, most of these series.
Yeah.
And now she is we've always known that there are people above her, but she has always acted very confident about it. She's never felt scared of them. Just that factually there are people above her. But now this is the first time where we do see her scared of this woman and you know her power and everything. Like, this seems to be definitely this woman has an unbelievable amount of power in terms of influence. Like, because Gao already has that, Fisk had that. We've seen so many characters that have that to a wildly high degree that it's like, how much more is this gonna be?
Yeah, like, there is a sort of power scaling in the, like, we see that the hand has roots everywhere. They can control things. They can make the impossible happen to a degree. And then we have this woman who shows up and is just like, all right, I'm going to do that with the hand. We're going to tell the entire hand, hey, this thing we're going to do for a few months, we're gonna speed it up a lot.
And it's like, it's also the very boss-like, not caring about anybody under you, and like through all of this, she does a lot of like making it a point that you are below her and she does not respect you. And like I think the clearest example of that is her saying to do this without giving the explanation why.
Yeah.
Like, it is just I'm not going to tell you why. You're just going to do it. And Gao doesn't question it, doesn't like ask like, but why? Like she just, okay, we're going to do it.
Yeah, like Gao was just concerned because like she just wants her to know like, yeah, this is gonna cause some trouble. Like this is gonna be noticeable.
Yeah, it's just like, just want to remind you. Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Which is like very interesting considering that was like the exact opposite of Gao in season 1 of Daredevil with Fisk of like the, you're getting too involved with this, I'm out, I don't want to deal with this, too much, too big. Like her thing has always been too big, but this was the like, okay, I guess we're going to destroy Manhattan.
Yeah, like this is something where she cannot say too big, or she can't like back out.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And the actress for whoever this is Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, which I saw like after my reaction, did not notice that at all.
Oh yeah.
Like Sigourney Weaver is the kind of person where I have seen her in plenty of stuff as like old as she is now, but I never recognize her as old as she is now. It's always like I just have the memory of her from Alien.
Yeah.
And like it does not register like, oh yeah, time passes. But that's awesome that they got Sigourney Weaver for the fucking villain here. Really cool. The look is so really like out there and distinct while having that in universe and just in life, like I can see it. Like it's very just high fashion sort of thing.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't think twice if I saw her on the street. I would just think that's a really rich lady.
Yeah, but it has that like stick in your head the more you see it. Like you just see it walking down the street and you're like, that lady's rich. But then the more you watch scenes with her, the more you go like, what is, like, it's such a distinct look. Like there's so much of the covering of her left side, despite there not being anything unusual about her. I'm not sure if it's left side or right side or whatever. But yeah, there's not anything unusual about either side of her, like face or hands or whatever. Nothing was weird. But she has a lot of clothes that are very like drape over one side of the body.
Yeah.
Cover all of one side.
Very asymmetrical.
Yeah, there was a lot of we had seen both of her hands and everything, but then there were so many shots where she was like, or during the whole first scene where she was getting the not treatment but the
MRI.
Yeah, the MRI and all that, the whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Where the way it was framed was always with one of her hands, I think it was the right side of her body, being obscured by like the doctor or the door or whatever, and it kept making me think like, oh, there's something gonna be going on with that side of her body, but no, wasn't anything. And I think it is just a fashion choice. Maybe that was all just coincidence that the fashion thing made me also like see that because I was paying so much attention to that side of her body. But it could also be intentional, and I don't know why.
I mean, there's nothing. There shouldn't be anything unintentional about direction.
There shouldn't be, but
sometimes there is.
A lot of times there accidentally is, but there shouldn't be.
And we had that shot of her like pressing her hand against the glass.
Yeah,
which I think was probably just a like hand reference.
Yeah, I think so. Like it was like that's what we've seen the symbol. But again, maybe she will have the hand being a very important thing.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like maybe her hand looks totally normal, but is very bad. Who knows? It seems like the arc of all of our characters here in the Defenders is going to be, the H word. I don't want to be a hero, man. I'm not a... Like, it's funnier for people like Luke versus, like, Jessica. It's like a... she... Like, it fits her so 100% well. Versus, like if Matt said, like, oh, don't call me a hero. It's like, you're he's kind of, like, accepting of it now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting how he talks about that. Because, like, he is... having this like character arc of the I'm not a hero, I'm just a lawyer, I put the suit away and all that, but he's not like saying, like, if he was wearing the suit and doing these things, he wouldn't be saying I'm not a hero. Versus like Luke is, Luke is the kind of person who goes around and helps people and everything and says I'm not a hero. And it's like with Luke, to me, it feels very arbitrary. Like, it feels like we just gotta do this. Like, I don't know why Luke cares.
Like, I thought in Luke Cage itself it was because of his guilt.
Yeah, but now we're kind of like... Yeah, it's not about that anymore.
Yeah. And then with Jessica, it's much more of a, like, she's just uncomfortable with it. Like, she has that extreme altruism, but she really doesn't want people to think of her as being nice or altruistic.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to be able to hide in that, like, darkness of being an asshole.
Mm-hmm. And it's understandable that she, just the world has fucked her over in so many ways, and so you understand why she acts the way she is and doesn't want to be held in that degree. Like,
Yeah.
the things that she does that are good for people are no longer because she's doing an altruistic thing, and more because she cannot stop herself from not doing the altruistic thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is a difference there. Like, she is mad at herself for doing the good thing, so she doesn't want somebody to acknowledge that it was a good thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Luke likes to help people. And,
Yeah, he enjoys going around Harlem and, contributing and helping the community.
Yeah, and there was reasons before why he wouldn't want to be recognized as a hero for various... Again, there was many reasons. There was the guilt thing as well. There was also the identity thing. There was a multitude of reasons. There was the, if I do this, then Cottonmouth's going to do this. If I do this, then Shades and Mariah's going to do this. There's so many reasons not to. But now he doesn't have a reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, like... Yeah, there's not really a reason not to. There's not really a reason to care why people call him a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Danny? Like, do you think he'll have a hero thing at all?
I think so. Like, we've kind of touched on that a little bit, where, and it replaced the word hero with, like, defender.
Sure.
Like, which is truly why I thought like, I think Danny has to be the one who comes up with the name to Defenders, right? Because that's, like, his whole thing. Like, all of Iron Fist is, Danny, you're a defender, why weren't you defending, why weren't you there?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think just replace the word hero with defender, and it kind of lines up still perfectly with Danny, of the, like, them saying, like, Danny, you were supposed to be the hero of Kunlun, and being like, I'm not the hero of Kunlun, I wanted to be the hero of this world. Like, it's a very different kind of hero thing, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it's curious, now I think he would be the, I'm no hero, I'm no defender, I'm no Iron Fist at all. Like, I can't do any of this shit. I'm stumbling on every lead we get.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm really enjoying, I think, what is your favorite of the 4 plot lines we're getting so far? Like, before, I think it's a great choice to not have the characters meet up in this episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Truly thought like that was obviously going to be the end of the episode, but no. I'm very, very happy they did not, because now we have sort of 4 distinct plots we can kind of talk about right now. And I find it fascinating that, to me, Matt's felt like the, like, least important plot line.
Yeah.
Like, the one where it was like, all right, and now we'll cut to Matt. I very much so enjoy it, and, like, I'm so glad that we're still sticking with this Elektra stuff. I really thought we were going to drop that, and I'm glad we're not. But yeah, I truly thought that Matt was going to be, like, the A plot line,
right.
But for it to be Danny is the A plot line and Matt is the D, gives me a lot of hope that they're not caring too much about the popularity of each series, and more so about how realistically it would be more interesting. Like, Matt is so disconnected from the hero world right now that it would be so weird if he was the A plot. So this is, like, the perfect choice.
Especially for a hand plot. Like, Danny is the perfect intro into all of that. Whereas Matt makes sense as, like, the weapon, like the secret weapon. Or, the person who hasn't been doing stuff and then he comes back into it.
He's the old man who, I'll come back for one last game.
I will say, of the 4, I like Matt's the most because it's also that... Like, it is that religious struggle combined with his love of Elektra. It is the, like, he's not turning his back on the world. Like, he is he's helping people. He's doing a really good job, like, sticking for the little guy.
But he's doing what he wanted to do from the start, which was help the little guy, which is, like, he kind of, it was both, like, a Foggy and him both had points of talking themselves out of it, which I do think was an interesting, thing that we didn't talk about enough about at the time, but I do like that they both sort of caused it to go in the wrong direction, and now that they're both separate, they're both doing what they wanted to do in better ways.
Fully agree.
It is. It's so rare to have a series that acknowledges, like, these two characters together are, like, these two characters are fantastic at what they do, but when they do those two things together, it's somehow worse. And so, Matt being able to do what he wants, Foggy being able to do what he wants, love to see it.
And like the idea that his angst isn't the classic like, oh, when I'm a hero people die. It is more of a like being a hero, or like being Daredevil specifically, not a hero, Daredevil, is now tainted with what Elektra brought out in him. Like it is that aggression.
That, and it pushed people away in his life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even if it ended up better in a career sense, like, yeah, now he's doing what he likes in a career. Foggy's doing what he likes in a career. Their friendship is non-existent.
Yeah.
His relationship with Karen is non-existent.
Yeah.
He's lost everybody. He has, like, nobody at all in his life anymore. And, yeah, it sucks that he is, like, you know, it's the real hair shirt move of Matt to be the Daredevil pushed people away from my life, so I'm not going to be Daredevil anymore. But then that also means I have to suffer with not doing Daredevil and having nobody to talk to. So it's like, he doesn't even have anybody to push away, but he's not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should say Matt's plotline in this is my favorite. I think. I don't know. Like, I think Danny's character stuff is my favorite right now.
Fair.
Just because I wasn't expecting it to be this, to go this hard with it. Especially because I thought it was going to be some wacky stuff with the Kunlun, just like, put that on the, you know, burner. Don't worry about that just yet. But yeah, I don't know. Matt and Danny, I think, are equal to me right now. I don't know which one I like more.
Yeah, like Jessica's is kind of nothing. Like,
Jessica's is basically nothing right now.
Yeah, like it is the meta plot more. It is the fact that she doesn't like this, but she's, you know, she can't help herself, but, you know, at least look into it. And she was baited with that phone call.
Yeah, like, surprisingly, we learn a hell of a lot more about this sort of stuff through Luke than we do through Jessica's plotline, even though she's the investigator here. But it feels like she's going to do a lot more of that now. It feels like if we give her too many clues in the beginning, she's going to solve it too fast.
Yeah.
So we got to hold Jessica back a little bit, get some of the, like, clues through Luke, and then, you know, he can give those to Jessica. She'll, you know, do some stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Like, I think we're definitely going to develop them separately a bit further, and then when they get together, they'll have enough pieces of the puzzle to, like, either point them towards, like, wherever the Hand's doing their stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, you know, give them a better lead that they couldn't have found separately, you know?
Yeah, I think if there was one, like, takeaway from Iron Fist that I would want, it's the amount of puzzle piecey people in the series.
Yeah.
Where there's just so many people doing different things, and their plot lines are, like, going in different directions, but then they have to come together because it forms a puzzle.
Yeah.
And, like, that seems like what we're kind of could do here, like, where they all have different clues, and then we can come together and solve it together. And they'll all have different plot lines that are very related to themselves that don't have to connect with any of the other characters if it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be very, very enjoyable. Especially because there's so many side characters that they're bringing up in here.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's going to be impossible to have that all connect in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
So I want more of the, you know, it doesn't need to. We can spend time with these characters like it was basically just an episode of their own series. And I hope we, you know, stick with that sort of vibe.
Yeah. I do find it very amusing, by the way, that where we left off Jessica, after, like, you know, the hints of other stuff in other series, we kind of go back to the fundamental, like, the very last moment of her series, which is her not wanting to take the calls, and Malcolm taking a call without her saying, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Because now we come back to, to her, and it is like, yeah, she hasn't been taking calls. Malcolm is still trying to do it, but she's been actively trying not to.
Yeah, I don't know what's canon about that anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, other series have said, like, she was in court for her super shit, or she was helping with this case, or she did this PI work for this person. And it's like, was that not true? Did she not do any of that? It's hard to tell. Or if she's being more, like, hyperbolic with saying that she hasn't done any of that stuff yet.
Yeah. Because, like, Malcolm, at the very least, could tell, like, from the look in her eyes that she took a case.
Yeah.
So she has to have taken at least one or two so he could see that.
It's a good point, yeah. So, yeah, she has to have taken something. It's just like she considers it to be nothing. I mean, to be fair, they weren't big enough to be a show, so...
Yeah, fair.
Using the most meta logic possible. The scene with Matt and the kid in the wheelchair, just incredible. Like, it was a very, I don't know, a very, like, centering scene for the series to, like, I don't know, cement a lot of the thematic nature of what Defenders is going to be about, because each of them have their own thematic stuff that we're going to be touching on in their stories. But I think even though it was a map scene, I think it was very emblematic of what this series is going to be overall, and just again trying to nail this like a theme for superheroes in general across all the MCU.
Like, all of them right now are coming off of a win to some extent. Like, you know, Luke won. Daredevil, you know, beat a big member of the Hands. You know, like, they all had a win, but none of them act like they're winners right now.
Yeah.
Because it is, like, it's only going to get harder from that point on. And they have to keep on struggling, and, you know,
no one's going to help you. Society ain't going to be looking out for you. Like,
whatever it is you do to get through it, that's fine.
And yeah, like, people are going to tell you this, people are going to tell you that, but you're the only one who, like, knows what you need. And yeah, like, it's such a terrific talk that...
Yeah.
It, like, doubly coming from, like, you know, someone who's disabled and someone, like, he's talking about it in a superhero sense, but he's also obviously talking about it in just the normal disabled sense.
Yeah.
And it still hits just as hard for Matt, I think, both ways. Like, Matt is, you know, he truly does, like, have both of those aspects, because he is, you know, he has a lot of the same problems that any normal blind person would have in society. Even if he can himself see it, he still has to act that way, so he's still going to get discriminated against in those ways, or, you know, can't do certain things because it's just, he can't let people know that he can do that.
Plus, like, he did have to train all of that stuff, like, when he was a kid. It is the same, like, you know, I was literally where you were at.
That's very true as well. I'm about to say I'm not a fan of Colleen's new look.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I don't know. It's too, like, formal to me. Like, she feels like she's on a strike squad or something. Like, she feels like she's on a superhero team where they all wear uniforms.
Yeah, it feels like she works for Danny.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's the better. Yeah. She feels like an employee. Like, she feels like a secretary now or something. Just in design. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It feels very Gal, in all honesty.
Huh. I can see that, actually.
Like, just the shirt she's wearing. I don't know. It feels incredibly Gal. Oh, yeah. Speaking of the, like, Danny's color being green, it is so weird that his color's green when everybody at Kunlun wears yellow, and they could have just made it that they wore green.
Yeah. It's a weird choice.
It's a very weird choice. Where do you think Claire lives?
All right.
What is happening with Claire's apartment?
Because she lives close enough to Matt that, you know, he just kind of, like, stumbled into her dumpster. Like, that's how they first met.
Well, no, she moved out of that place.
Sure, fair, yeah.
That was a different place.
Actually, wait, yeah, like, the opening of, right, like, the midpoint of Luke Cage was her straight up saying she was moving back to Harlem.
Right.
Like after the hospital.
But that was with her mom.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, you're right. This is actually a third location.
This is a third location that first showed up. Did it first show up in Iron Fist, or was this also in... I don't think this was in Luke Cage.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she was with her mom for almost all of Luke Cage.
Yeah. And then that was like just the last we had seen of her there.
So,
like, she got the poster for the Chikara Dojo, so it was assumed that she was going to the Chikara Dojo, which is in Chinatown.
Yeah.
So, is her apartment in Hell's Kitchen, in Chinatown, in Harlem? Where is this apartment?
I mean, she has moved 3 times, so...
But this is definitely the same apartment.
Yeah, this is the same one from Iron Fist.
Yeah. Which Danny and them kept going to.
Yeah.
Danny, again, it's so unclear if the Rand building is in Hell's Kitchen or not, but the Chikara Dojo is definitely in Chinatown.
Yeah.
And so they have gone from there to her apartment plenty of times as just like walking. So, you know, what is that? Where is this fucking apartment? This apartment truly feels like it's just anywhere they need it to be at any time. It's not really a complaint. It's just, it's something I need to mention because I find it hilarious that this has shown up in 3 different places now, basically.
My current guess is I'm gonna say Chinatown because Luke's traveling, so he could have just stopped there.
Yeah.
And then Misty is no longer a Harlem cop, so she could have also just been like, "Oh yeah, I heard from someone that Luke Cage went to this person's apartment in Chinatown, so I'm gonna go there."
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, also, who's spreading these rumors?
Yeah, I know. It's across like all of New York. It's so wild.
How is he not getting mobbed constantly?
So, first episode.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna call it. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay.
This is your chance to make a long shot call if you
Oh.
think this is gonna happen.
Okay.
So, like, we talked for a long time about the very loose love triangle cornering, whatever you want to call it, with Jessica and Luke and Claire.
Yeah.
It's very clear now Luke and Claire is going
Yeah.
to stay together. Do you think there's going to be a thing between Jessica and Malcolm?
I mean, I'm going for the long shot of Jessica and Luke.
Okay, you're still
I'm
going for it.
I still love it. They're a good ship.
I think it's much better, to be fair. Yeah, but yeah, it was not something I considered until like again, I don't see it at all in this episode. But knowing shows,
Yeah.
knowing movies, it is the hot man, hot woman must get
course.
together.
I like Jessica and Malcolm as like the idea of Jessica will never ask for help. She will never try to have friends, and Malcolm's the person who will go into her apartment without her asking
Yeah.
because like
Just for a soda.
Yeah.
That's all I was there for.
like it's the kind of thing that should by all rights be unbelievably creepy. And in Jessica Jones they did play it as being creepy and weird multiple times.
Yeah.
But now I do see it as the like she secretly needs him to break into her apartment because no one else is ever going to. If she was left on her
I mean,
own, she
to be
would.
fair, what's her name did?
Trish.
Trish, yeah, she did
Yeah.
in season 1.
True.
So she's had a lot of people break into her apartment and try and fix stuff that she has not asked for to be fixed.
Fair. Man, this door. I mean, the door's already broken. We know canonically Malcolm had the door fixed at one point, and they broke it again.
This apartment looks somehow worse than when it was like trashed by people fighting in it to the death.
Oh, Danny needs to get her a paid by Rand apartment so she can destroy it and get another one. I don't think she's gonna keep it.
Yeah. I love the shot of Misty saying, "Harlem, could use your help," as they're walking past a bunch of not even superhero related stuff in any way. Just like, tons of like in stopping and frisking, the like Black Power symbol, and,
Yeah.
like just community protection posters and stuff like that. Like, it's a very on the nose shot, but
Oh yeah.
really love it. Annoying as hell that it's coming from Misty.
Of course.
Nothing is more surprising than after all of that in Luke Cage, they gave her a promotion.
Boy, and again, Candace's mom. I really do feel so bad for Candace's mom.
Yeah, man, just like I don't know how I feel about making Harlem suffer even more, just
Oh,
for
yeah.
a little bit more for Luke. Like, I feel like he's already had plenty of motivation. This was a little bit much for me.
Yeah.
Like, this was a little bit like, man, do we really need to go? Like, why is this gotta be Harlem? It's always Harlem.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. But while we're there, do you have any theories as to what the fuck is going on?
Okay, like overall?
Like, overall on the whole, this I feel like is going to be a big mystery season thing. I have got not even the slightest beginning of an idea of a theory as to any part of the stuff that happened in this episode.
Okay,
I don't know what the kid's doing, what this job is that they're taking. I mean, well, I think that's got to be connected to the hand in some way. I mean,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that's too obvious for us to say, like, oh, I got that. That's my theory.
But it's good to talk it all out. So.
Yeah. So, like, there's the kids that are taking these jobs, and they are, it's got to do with the hands and everything, but what exactly is the job? There's a lot of thought, like, oh, I had to be bulletproof too. Is that just because the hand would just keep coming after him? Is there another reason? You know, even to like what caused the Manhattan to, you know, shatter and earthquake and all that. It's, you know, the power going out is probably just because of the earthquake ripping up cords and stuff like that. I don't think there's an electricity aspect to this, but there could still be, maybe an electronic aspect to it as well. The whole car thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that I think was too confusing to me. Can you try and like talk through that as well? I think that kind of like was a bit confusing for me.
Okay, like it's a bit vague, but here's how I took it.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of 20-somethings. They get a like. The people who know them only see it as they get a good job, they move their mothers, you know, out of Harlem,
Right.
and then they die, and it seems we don't even like know how they're all dying. We know the one that we see like died in the car, like in a car. It seems like it might have been on fire.
Yeah, but then he also what was his name? The his brother, right?
Yeah.
Says that it was a car accident.
Yeah.
Like in a way that he knows is not true, but also in a way of why would he say that? Like,
yeah,
that is the most obvious way to say that you know it's not a car accident. So if he's trying to hide that fact, why would he say a car accident?
right.
You know, that part was also confusing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what character motivation he would have for saying that, unless like he wants to do a like I want Luke to, you know, but like Luke already was looking into it, and like Luke was gonna put like it's not like I'm leaving a thing so Luke will, you know, be like he said car accident, that was weird. Luke already knows he already knows what's happening.
I guess I would take that as like he already feels hopeless. He feels like there's no way out, and so he's not saying it like in a way to give hints, but he is like he was told by someone, maybe the hand, like if anyone asks, it was a car accident.
Even though they set it on fire.
I mean, maybe it was. There's no like impact damage. Is the weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, and the official report is just that a guy died in his car overnight.
Yeah, and then the unofficial story is like, you know, some sort of nefarious thing they're doing.
Yeah, I didn't understand that when she says like unofficially, and then I did not understand what she meant.
Like, I would say late night duty tends to refer to like same as like the night shifts. Like night shift has connotations of we're gonna do something illegal. I took it as just officially there's no like we have no evidence that anything bad was happening, but unofficially we think something bad was happening.
Okay, that's just what the whole scene was?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I thought there was more information there or something, but I guess not. So, still, on this, like, having any theories thing, the only thing we know is that there are 20-somethings taking a job and ending up dead. Misty thinks there's something weird going on.
Yeah.
Moving on. I do not understand this scene. I don't know what we're supposed to imply from that.
I think this is just bad writing in that I think they're saying in both instances, yes, obviously the car has been set on fire, but no one thinks this is like connected to other murders, whereas she thinks this is connected to other murders. Like, I think saying found deceased is meant to also imply, yes, found deceased on fire.
I guess, but it's just in the way that's worded, it feels like that has to be implying something's left out. Otherwise, you just wouldn't say it like that.
Right.
Like especially the word officially.
Yeah.
Like, you would just say a guy died in his car. Why would you say officially guy died in his car overnight unless you are repeating what the know what the official report is? But then if that's not what the official report is, why would you say officially?
Sure.
Right, I said how, you know, what caused the big earthquake and everything like that, but I guess it could just be as simple as a lot of dynamite.
Sure.
You know? Like, it feels like it would have to be more, also considering they're moving up stuff and, like, doing stuff, and what are the big holes they're making? Was that just to put the dynamite in? Like, what are they doing? Is it just blowing up dynamite, or is it... I mean, even then, it could be blowing up dynamite in these specific places.
Yeah, because that would... Like, I was going to say that before we got into the big tangents. That would explain the couriers. If it is we need to blow up these specific areas in New York in order to do something.
Okay.
Like, make a big magic circle or whatever.
Sure. Why would they need couriers for that?
I mean, I guess they could just have hand members do it. It was,
Because this has been happening for a while. This has been happening before the, like, okay, we need to rush stuff ahead.
yeah,
So, like, they didn't need the couriers for any of that.
sure.
Or unless it was already ready, but it sounded like it wasn't ready. It sounded like they had to rush.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't sound like the couriers are for the dynamite.
Mm.
Like, maybe it was to collect the dynamite,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's also like C4. Just want to say that.
C4, yeah, I keep saying
Like,
dynamite.
Like, dynamite is not that strong.
yeah. It was C4.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the couriers were not used to put the dynamite in the holes.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, none of the ones that we've seen or whatever.
Sure.
Like, not the brother, not the dead one, not any of the ones that were before that.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Mariah is involved, or do you think that was just Misty, like, misreading the situation?
I think that was just a misreading the situation. Even more so, I think that was just to have a mention of Mariah.
Sure.
Like, it felt, like, I didn't know why she thought that would be Mariah. Like, I don't see why that would possibly be Mariah.
Yeah, like, that's not really her MO.
No, they've never really done anything like that, so
Yeah.
it was just kind of felt like okay, guess we need to mention Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
She's still out there. Like, we'd already mentioned her a few times, but it was still like just mentioning, like, she's a bad boss and we're gonna get to her soon.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Like, I feel like Gal's probably gonna mention Bakudo a lot in this, just as, like, you guys better
Sure.
get scared for Bakudo.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it makes sense, but it's also a little bit of a, like,
Yeah.
hyping up sort of thing.
Because, like, to go over the pieces again, in Luke's story, we have whatever's going on with these kids. Like, we don't even know if they're couriers. Luke just said that for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, when he said that, I didn't know what he meant either. I was like, oh, okay, what do you mean couriers?
Mm-hmm. So, we've got the kids being paid a lot of money to do some sort of job.
Mm-hmm.
In Jessica's plot, we have the architect, who has made, I believe it was 2 buildings in New York and 4 in Dubai.
I thought it was 4 in
New York and 2 in Dubai?
Let me check.
Yeah, because that's important, because it seems like this is going to be a big New York-specific thing.
Yeah, 2 skyscrapers in Dubai, 4 in Manhattan. And 4 in Manhattan specifically.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because it's not like the Hand only operates in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I don't know my boroughs very well, but Brooklyn is not in Manhattan, right?
No.
So, yeah, like, we know that they were very specifically, again, that was the docks to bring their stuff in.
Yeah.
So I guess that doesn't matter for, like, if the towers or the skyscrapers that they bought were for, I don't know what they would be for.
Yeah.
Because that's not for the holes either.
Because we know the big hole was at Midland Circle.
Yeah. And assumingly, there might be some other hole. I'm just
Yeah.
guessing there's
Same.
holes that they're putting these explosives in.
That makes no sense.
And we know that they keep buying up property and, like, like, that's just been the thing throughout all these things. Just property.
Yeah. Like, I feel like this guy's connection is definitely going to be, like, either, like, I don't think it's going to be the skyscraper itself as much as it'll be, like, whatever's under it. Like, whether they're building, digging a big hole, or whether they need to...
But then why would they need a specific architect?
Mhm.
Like, why wouldn't they just buy the building, right? They wanted an architect to build the building, or to design the building.
Yeah. Or maybe to, like, if it's an existing building, to tell them how to destroy it, maybe?
Maybe, but he designed the skyscrapers to be built. Like, when you say they designed a skyscraper, I assume that is then they built. How would you design it if it's already been built, right? So, like, they couldn't be already existing buildings. Or are you saying, you're saying they captured him so he would know how to do something with the buildings?
Yeah, like, I'm assuming these are existing buildings.
Okay. Like, I see what you're saying. You're saying he didn't work for the Hand, then they captured him and are forcing him to work for them now.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Because I think that ties into whoever Big Hand Lady is, telling them to move up the schedule. Like, in any other situation, I assume they would, like, finesse the information out of him or something else. But because they need to do it fast, they're getting just the architect of this building.
But again, he's been missing for a while now. Way before they moved up the schedule.
Ah, true.
Like, that's I think the tricky thing for a lot of the stuff is that the obvious answers cannot be the answers because of the time schedule.
Sure.
And so that's what makes this tricky.
Yeah.
So he's been gone for a full week.
I think a week is enough that we could say
Do you think it's been a week since that scene where she got the diagnosis and then talked to Gal? Like, when did she talk to Gal specifically? Hold on.
Sure.
Was that was after that scene?
Okay, fair. You know what? I can't push that one anymore. You're right. There's no way.
Literally right before that scene is when she gets the diagnosis. So it cannot possibly be.
You're right. You're right.
Cannot. And so he had been acting secretive for a long time, and then he went missing for a week.
Yeah.
So that's a even longer time frame there. Was Jessica supposed to be in the same building Luke was in?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna say, yeah. It's tricky because of that really good cut. But I don't think so, because the building she's in seems completely abandoned. Whereas his building, the kid is playing that music so loud, like, you got all the flickering, like, there's a very specific vibe to it.
Where was Luke actually when the thing was happening, when the shake was happening? Luke is not in the building when the shake is happening.
Yeah, like,
so it could still be the same. Like, I was gonna say, like, you know, time might have passed. You know, those people might have left, and then the building was. I don't think it's the same building.
Yeah,
but
it is possible.
It is possible because it's supposed to be like this place where, you know, you hang out where people don't go to and stuff. It's like a kid's. Like, both of them seem like places where kids go to hang out where they don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
So they could be the same place, but it does not seem like it should be the same place. But it could be.
It's possible. And that would be a very easy way to get them to connect with each other.
Yeah. I do appreciate the distinct styles that each series has for how it, like, films everything. Like, it feels like the director's intent is still there for each of these series.
Yeah.
Whether it be, like, Jessica having so many transitional shots of, you know, the city or whatever, and just when it's filming, typically, like, also, like, the set locations are very important. Like, you know, Jessica's almost always on the street and in grimy buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Luke in Harlem, like, the locations are nice to have it still be so consistent with each of them. But various things, like Luke with the camera always, like, tilted a little bit to the side for it, or Matt is always being filmed from below. Like, I think just to make him look more imposing and everything and tall, but...
Honestly, I really like the idea of Luke and Jessica being in the same building because of that. Because, like, Jessica has this energy of people are usually around, but she always feels isolated. Whereas Luke is generally around people, he never feels isolated. And that could just be the same building, but in their styles.
Truly, it could be. Because, yeah, like, Jessica is, like, a lot of, if she is in a building, nobody's in that building. But if she's out in the street, there's people everywhere, but it just feels like there's, like, this bubble around her. Anything else you gotta say about this episode?
I just wanted to finalize my guess.
Yeah.
So, we've got the kids doing something. We've got explosives in this room. We don't know whose room it is. Jessica thinks it's the architect guy. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. She is very quick to jump to conclusions.
Yeah. I mean, she's jaded. She still thinks that, you know, he's cheating on his wife.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's jaded. That's a weird kind of jaded, because she's not going to the extreme that it should be.
Yeah. It is I've seen this before.
Yeah. Like, I mean, to be fair, it is interesting that you could say that jaded, because it's like, she is jaded in thinking that he's cheating on her when he probably isn't cheating on her, but he is probably doing something worse. And is that just because he was kidnapped to do it? Or is that because he wants to do it because he was working with him before he was kidnapped?
Right.
There's a lot we don't know. But yeah, you know, you saying that actually made me think about this more like, you know, it is interesting. It is kind of like she is jaded to thinking that he's doing something worse than working with the hand, which might be true if it's innocent. Who knows? Did you want to finalize your guess still?
Sure.
Keep interrupting you.
Still working. Danny's thing is basically like, the hand is out there. We know Elektra's working with them. Elektra was in Cambodia. Now she's here.
Yeah.
Watching the city fall. Matt doesn't seem to have a connection. There could be something with the replacement material, like the case he was on.
Maybe.
Where, like, you know, that one company was, like, replacing their buildings. Like, they were using worse materials in their buildings, which is what caused that kid to be paralyzed.
I actually... Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think that is the Rand thing.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if that was Rand, but, like, that's probably what Rand was doing.
Okay.
Maybe there's something else. But if there's not an explanation, I'm gonna hope that was the implication and take that and run with it.
Okay.
Because, you know, yeah. good enough for me as long as we don't get I hope we get another explanation, but that's fine as well. But yeah. Anything else?
Altogether, my guess is, in order to like make some sort of like magic circle or something, the hand needs to like use the roads and use the buildings to like, you know, make a pattern or something.
The roads as well, you think?
Yeah, and they can't do it all right now, but because they need to move the timetable up, they're starting some of the explosions.
Okay.
Because, like, it does seem, like, based on that line from a villain lady, like, this is going to result in the end of New York City. But this earthquake...
Manhattan, right? Just Manhattan.
Well, she said you'll get used to seeing cities fall.
Right, I think she's still talking about Manhattan, though.
Okay.
Like, it could be New York, but I think Defenders is doing a very specific, like, this is Manhattan sort of thing, just based off of the conversation with her and Gao about buying Manhattan and everything.
Sure.
Like, I think it's the implication is going to be she's going to destroy Manhattan, then move on to other boroughs of New York or just other cities in general.
Mm-hmm. I really gotta get my map of New York.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know shit about New York either.
Because legitimately, I don't know where Harlem and Hell's Kitchen are.
They're in New York, baby!
Like, that changes the scope. I don't think they're both in Manhattan.
That's a good point. You know what? Let's look that up right now before we end.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
So many cuts.
So, if you are like us and you don't know where any of this shit is, let's break this down. Harlem, like, Manhattan is the island, right? It's the strip island thing. Very top, you got Harlem. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, you know, you got East Harlem, you got Morningside Heights, you got Upper West Side, you got Upper East Side, Central Park, all right there under Harlem. So it's Harlem, Central Park, and a bunch of shit. Right under that is Midtown, where the hand has done some shit as well. There was the Midtown Circle, where it was the Punisher thing, right?
Midland Circle.
Midland Circle? That wasn't Midtown? Okay.
No, it was Midtown.
Probably was in Midtown.
Maybe.
But anyway, Hell's Kitchen is a neighborhood in Midtown West. Like, it's so small. My God, Hell's Kitchen is so small. It's not even a district at all. I truly thought it was a district. It's not. And then Chinatown is pretty damn far down. They have to go a hell of a lot between Hell's Kitchen and Chinatown. Yeah, actually.
And this does fix like my question of where is the Rand building, because the financial district's at the very bottom tip.
Yeah, okay.
And so that would make sense.
Yeah,
like it's right next to Chinatown.
That does make sense as well. Also, like Brooklyn was right there, but there was some stuff happening in Brooklyn and Iron Fist. So yeah, it seems like it's actually shorter between Harlem and Hell's Kitchen than it is between Hell's Kitchen and Chinatown and Financial District, where assumingly the Rand building and that stuff is. Which the Financial District is also right up against Chinatown, which makes sense for Iron Fist. Yeah. But okay. Whew, finally got that explained.
It only took us till Defenders to look up what Manhattan looks like.
I mean, most of them we thought were in Hell's Kitchen, and we were like, yeah, Hell's Kitchen's a district, right? Nope, it's just one little neighborhood inside Midtown. Right near Times Square, though. I did not know how close Hell's Kitchen was to Town Square. Yeah. Anyway, now we know.
Yeah, so, big theory, making a big circle gonna destroy all of Manhattan.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense why it's just going to be Manhattan now. Yeah. Like when we were like, is Harlem even in Manhattan?
Because also, it is...
Harlem's like the biggest part of Manhattan. I was in Central Park and we were like, is Harlem in Manhattan?
But yeah, and that, that ties into the whole, they bought all of Manhattan. Mm-hmm. It's also an island, which means that if they want to, they can destroy the bridges and, box it off.
Of course they're going to. You gotta. Yeah. You gotta. It's an island. You gotta destroy the bridges.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys for the next episode. Until then.